This is a pretty neat little guy. It's a Powermate tiller, little garden tiller. It's got what's it got? 4 times? Yeah, 4 times on it. No clue if it runs. This came with when I bought that chainsaw case. It had that junk chainsaw in it. This one, same deal. Guy knows nothing about it, so he put fuel in it. Tried to get it to start. Didn't want to start, so he didn't mess with it. But has no spark plug in it, but it does have compression. At least when you got plenty of compression. Bad thing is, I set it out here last night and forgot all about it. It's supposed to rain, so it's been raining on it off and on all day, which not necessarily a big deal. But so before get all crazy and start doing anything too stupid, we're going to see if it has any spark. But definitely needs, I noticed a couple things with it. It has fuel in the primer, but I did hit the primer on it. It looks all, I'll show you, it's all swelled up looking. And if I can zoom in. So the primer on it, you can see here, it's rock freaking hard. It's got fuel in it, but it is rock hard. Does not want to prime the carburetor. We got a little bit of fuel left in it. And yeah, it's not doing anything, so must be clogged on the inside, but a little windy out here. But my main thing is seeing if it has fire, so the plan is to prime the carburetor real quick, or at least try to. I don't have any fuel out here with me, but dry this line off, so I'm try to get some out of this tank. Said he put some of that canned fuel in it just to try to get it to come to life, but he had no luck, so not much in it at all. Now actually looking down in it, ain't even enough to go down into the fuel lines. I don't know how in the world he got it in the primer. I don't even know if I can get any up in this tube. I don't recommend doing that, because this 2-cycle, man, is super nasty. If you get it in your mouth, I think gas is bad. Try 2-cycle. Alright, so the plan is we're going to attempt to do, hope to do, is see if we can get a little bit of fuel down in here into this carburetor. I'm hoping. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if that made it in or not. It's got a little cover on it right there. Makes it kind of hard to prime it, but we'll give it a shot. So I'm hoping it at least, barks off for us. Plug's not super tight, but it should be enough to hopefully get it to try to come to life. Hey. Well, that's a plus. At least we know it runs. Here's a couple issues. It actually has a full air filter in it. So let's figure out what's up with the carburetor. And these lines, if I can get you in here to show you the rubber. It's a 2-line setup through a rubber gasket, if I can zoom in on it. So that is definitely trash. So that's got to be ordered. The whole, yeah, there we go. You can see how it's poured out. It all needs replaced anyway. But you can see here, yeah, it's just falling apart. Here's the rubber. You see where it's all split and coming apart. And this line fell right off with the fuel filter. Ooh, the fuel filter is plugged up. Can't even blow through it. Barely. So the fuel filter is trash. The rubber grommet is done, so we might as well trash that too. That actually almost looks like it's collapsed. Yeah, you can't even, that's the return line. You can't even blow through it. So here explains the, see if it primes gas now. Yep. So fuel lines are a problem, so you never know, it might be a good carb. But it does have a lot of, if I can get that off here. Yeah, so that carb's going to have issues. Oh God, man, that stuff's so gross. One thing I did notice, someone had their fingers in it, so we'll put this back on real quick. So I have to get, I don't want to lose anything, I have to get it downstairs to work on it. But someone definitely had their fingers in it, because there's 2 screws missing. That crazy dog. We can get it to tilt back. Whew, man, that gas stinks. These 2 screws here are missing. I might get lucky, I might have 2 downstairs that'll fit in there. So the tank's definitely been off at one point. That could explain something to do with the, they may have stuck something in there to pry on that grommet to get it out. That could possibly be why it's split, because it's pretty ate up. So if we get the grommet, some lines, a filter, get down there, check the carb out, get this tank off, get the crappy fuel out, and see what we got. So that ain't a bad little setup, man. It's kind of like if you've seen a Manus, the throttle is up here on the handle. It's all hooked up and moving. So it's kind of like, make you think of the old school Manus tillers. I think it's a little bit bigger than a Manus, but it's what it'd make you think of if it, you were standing here looking at it. So good thing is it runs. So now we'll have to look, get that figured out, and make sure our time setup mechanism here is working right. I'm sure here somewhere, I'll have to look, but there's probably a spot where you can grease it. So we'll look into all that, make sure it's working right. So I have to get those pieces ordered, and we'll pick this up down in the basement. I'll get the handle and everything up there, all that, get all that unhooked up here, the handle, the throttle cable, break it down and get it put on the bench. Alright, so here's our old carb, still in pieces. After getting online and looking to see how much stuff was, excuse me, I went ahead and splurged. This is the kit I ended up getting. And of course, it's from Hipa. It's a complete kit. Got both fuel lines, fuel filter, brand spanking new carburetor, spark plug, gasket. Here's my rubber grommet and an extra purge ball. Nice kit. It's complete. Everything you need. Here's the, in case you want to go that route, if I can get the model number up there for you. There you go. And yeah, it's a nice kit. Cheap. $16.99 or $17.99. I think it's $17.99. The only thing that's different is it does have the one bracket. The only thing, it's the right bracket, but the thread pitch is different on this piece here. It's where your cable runs to. So all I got to do is swap those 2 brackets out, and it's this is like a universal kit. So it's I'm sure with other things, there's other tillers and stuff that this fits, as well as just besides just the one I have here. So it's a universal fit. So that just unscrews. And it'll be the same way. We'll take that out. It'll be the same way. The only thing different on the bracket is the pitch and the threads. So, where's my screwdriver? And this one will work. Just take those 2 screws. Just be sure not to lose anything. Now, warranty wise, I don't know if this would make a difference in Hipa's warranty. I mean, all we're doing is swapping out a bracket. So I'm sure if you are just swapping the bracket and you're not fully disassembling your carburetor, I'm sure they'd be pretty lenient with you. But it's real easy to do. It's just a couple of screws, and that's it. You just got those 2 screws there to get your bracket, and it'll slide right out. So take our new one out, put our old one back on. So I'm saying it's identical bracket. The only thing different is the thread pitch. Basically, one's fine thread and one is a coarse thread. So we'll put that on. Get our screws back in there. I just wouldn't take, if you do it, I just wouldn't, disassemble your carburetor. Just hold everything tight so nothing comes apart. You should be good to go. Make sure everything's good and snug. You don't want to overdo it. End up stripping something out. And that's it. It's ready to roll. So just take that nuts in the same spot it was in, so it should be good. So our carburetor should just screw on. And we're close already. Yep, almost. So let's run the nut down some, down the cable. I'm just going to get it to where it fits right over the screw. It's got a notch and a cable is set in there, and hold it in place. Got to turn it just a hair to get it to drop in there. Maybe a little more. Just get a little slack in it. Come on, big fella. Yep, just a little bit more. Can't go up too much further. There's a plastic piece there that I believe you can only go up so far. Yeah, it's maybe so it's passing it, so. Kind of hard to see. There we go. Okay, so now it's in there. Back it back up. Hold it in place so it doesn't pop out on you. There's a little tiny slot. You'll see it. That it fits right down in. Hold it nice and tight. I'm sure there's odds are there's a lot easier way to do this than what I'm doing it, but doing the best I can. Yeah, she popped out. There's got to be an easier way. Just bear with me. This is actually a first for me, so I was kind of expecting to have difficulties with it. Everything else I work on is pretty much plug and play. I mean, it's, get your carburetor, throw it on, call it a day. But this way, you know what you could possibly run into. That's how I see it anyway. Instead of being, one of those videos where you see someone doing it and, I was going to say you can loosen up the 2 screws, maybe make it easier, but I don't think so. Instead of being one of those videos where it's, they get it, show you what you got, and they don't show you the fight they got to go through to get something on. Those are the videos I don't like watching. At least this way, you pretty much know what you're up against. Like I'm saying, I'm sure Let's try squeezing the throttle down, see if it backs. Yep, there we go. So that done it. The trigger, the throttle assembly at the top of the bar, drew it right in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to back it, twist it, draw her down some. Let's see what we got. Well, that's full right there, but you can see, zoom in, I'll show you. There's, you can see the play in it. Yep, wrong way. You can see the cable right here. When I work the throttle at the top of the trigger, you can see the cable in there moving around. So I'm going to try to take some of that out of it. Back that back off. Turn it the right way. I believe so, yeah. I just don't want to overdo it. Then you have too much tension on it. It's got to find that happy place. There we go. Okay, so that's there, and it sets. Yep, I did that. There it goes. Just like this. That's how it'll set once it's mounted here. I'll show you, but what we want to do, since we got that cable pretty much where we want it, let's go ahead and snug it down. So we get it good and snug. So now, I'll zoom you out. We'll get our carburetor situated here and out of the way at least. So there's our mounting spot. So you got it. Your gasket goes in between the two. So your gasket will go here. Then your carb goes just like that. You want to make sure your two fuel lines are pointing forward. And takes care of those. Just make sure your holes, on the back side of the carb. Here's the old one here. You have a hole in the back. Get it up there. You have that little hole. You want to make sure all that's lined up. There's one up here on the plastic, so you want to make sure everything's good there. So it takes care of that. So this, you want to make sure your choke lever goes up. Hopefully this thing runs after all this. Alright, get in there. Probably should have cleaned those threads a little. Alright. So there we go. Get these started. Good thing about it, they give you more than enough fuel line. I mean, more than enough. I got enough. I mean, that one strand, well, the nipples, I believe, are two different sizes up here. One's slightly bigger than the other. But ran them in two lines, and they give you enough line that you can most likely use one of those to run your fuel system. Alright, now that this is good and snug, just don't overdo it. I'll work that throttle assembly again, make sure everything's good. Yep, everything's good there. So now our tank, these can be a bear. The rubber bushings, easiest way I found for me, because some of them you purchase them, the lines are pre-ran, some aren't. These ones aren't, and they can be kind of tough. And the last one I done, it was the head to setup was a Echo hedge trimmer, and that thing fought me tooth and nail. Did not want to go. And it was, once the lines go in to the grommet, it causes the grommet to expand a little bit. And I've done it both ways, with the grommet in the tank, out of the tank. It was a bear. I finally got it. Ended up having to put the lines in the grommet, and kept fighting with it and finally got it to go in the tank. But these I am going to take and put some grease on them. Hopefully that'll help them slide in a little better. I done the tank. I'll show you when I get the tank. I done the tank the same way. It's a little bit of a slippery mess, but whatever makes it a little easier, you know. There we go, it's coming through. Just get you a rag, wipe your fingers off, it ain't gonna kill you. You can get this one coming through. Your black one is the, missed that spot. The black one is your main fuel line. And your green, clear one, yellowish green, that one will be your return line. I can't believe that thing split on me. I'm only a little bugger. There we go. So now, slide right through. There we go. So there's a good start on our main line. Slid right through. The green one, I'm going to do the same way. Maybe not as much grease. That was a hot mess. Just enough to get the job done. And this is that echo when I done it. I'm pretty sure there's a video of it. It's been a while if there is, but oh yeah, that one went through with no problem. That one was, I'm telling you, it was a job. So we got our tank. Done the tank the same way, where the rubber grommet goes in. Put some grease on it. Go ahead and ditch the cap. And we'll just get them in there. Always put the big side. You have a small side of the grommet and a big side. Make sure the big side goes out. This one, you should be able to get the majority of it, if not all of it, just by pushing real hard with your thumbs. Yeah, she's going to be tough. And the other thing I done with the other one was used a very dull flathead screwdriver and got it to go right in. It was, well, I can't say right in because it was definitely a fight, but it wasn't terrible. It's like this one, it's going already, so it's just a little dull, just a little flathead screwdriver that's dull. I'm not pushing down, like stabbing down. I'm just using the flathead part and shoving down on the tank. I'm not shoving, you know, I'm going to take a chance on splitting the grommet. If you do, then you're buying another one. Yep, just about got it in there. That's it. It's in. So we'll wipe off our hot mess here. Should be able to turn it as well. I wasn't thinking about that. We probably should have had. No, it won't turn. Oh well. Should have had the black one on the bottom. Most likely. I mean, you don't have to, but I think I would have preferred it that way. So now, as usual, we'll just draw. And get that our main line. Keep drawing it into the tank. Should slide pretty easy since it's greased. Enough to get it up out of there. Cut it off. I don't know where my nippers went, but I sure do miss them. So watch your fingers. There we go. Now, wipe all that garbage off. New fuel filter. Oh, she's tight. There she goes. Probably wouldn't hurt to put a dab of lubricant on it too. But there we go. Get our new filter down in there. Now, you want to figure out, get that down in there where it's laying flat. And we can run it across the tank. You can see that where it's all stained up in there, for this thing's set for a long time. Get out what I could. Not lacking much. Okay. No, not yet. Come on. Oh, I'm catching on the other line. What in the world? Trying to make a fool out of you on video. No. Almost. There we go. We are... Where we at? Stick it up in the light. Where we at? I think we're just about there. I'll give it just a little bit more. And we should be... There we go. Now that should have us laying over here on the other side of the tank. You know, as I was saying, I did find 2 screws for the bottom half. Shame they was missing, but oh well. These will work just fine. Hopefully with the new fuel system, this thing will run like a champ. Get our tank mounted up there. Only thing that sucks is these top ones are Allen head. I didn't have any Allen head ones. All I had was star bit style. But at least the tank will be solid. Alright, let's run these up here a little bit. Now the return line, I'm not too worried about it. At some point I might pull it up either and nip some of it off. You know, all it is a return line, so they don't have to be super long. All you need is just get it through the tank about an inch and usually good shape. And get my head out of you guys' way. Alright. Oh, it's flathead too. Alright. Nothing to it, right? Nice, we can turn a little bit. I haven't messed with the tines at all yet. Probably won't until we get it running and see what we got. See if they turn. If they don't spin, then we'll mess with it. Hoping it takes right off. Come on now. Let's loosen this side one back up. Maybe that'll make a difference. I was hoping to find some just like those top ones, but I didn't get that lucky. Yeah, it was too long. But hopefully this video helps somebody out. Don't be afraid to do it. I can't see without getting in your guys' way. it's longer. Perfecto. This one's just being a straight up bear. I have to tighten that up. Alright. Finally. Cool bit. So that takes care of our tank. I need to tighten that one screw up just a hair. But I'll get that afterwards. I don't want to keep holding you guys up over something like that. So we'll get our cap back on. Since I'm leaving it wide open, so I'll show you how much line Hipa gives you with this kit. This is crazy. Really nice of them, because you know, you mess with stuff like I do, then it goes a long way. If I can get it to where you guys can see it. So you can see where the carb is. Right there. That's the 2 nipples. Here's your tank. So you're talking line, you know, just a couple inches long max. Look at this, it goes clear back past. Here's your bars where it runs up. I mean, it goes way past it, so more than enough. Alright, so we got your main fuel line. Yeah, knife head. This knife might work better. Makes it nice too, because with it being like this, you can stretch them right out and you know exactly where you need it. Cut that off. Remember the black line's your main line. See, look at that. All that extra line. That's great. Well, I'll show you when we're done. Crazy. Nice of them. Cool bit. So there's that one. That should be our main line. So now we'll cut off our return. It should be about right there. I always give myself just a hair extra, just in case. Cool bit. Here we go. It's that easy. But I'll show you why. This is why I think I'd like to have them the other way around. I can show you here on the tank now. It's not really that big of a deal. It's personal preference, honestly. You can kind of see how here's your return. So it's coming up into, it's a higher nipple than it is the main fuel line. It's kind of like straight across, but I don't know, I think it would have looked better if it was the opposite. But you know, that's, like I said, that's personal preference. Now we'll make sure we got our, yep, everything is moving like it should. Got our throttles working. So the one thing it didn't come with though was the air filter. I was kind of surprised on that. There's not too many kits that they carry that do not come with an air filter, but no big deal. This one's in good shape. Everything's hooked together, so you don't have to worry about screwing anything up. I mean, if you need to take it off, it's just where your on and off switch is at right here. It's just 2 wires right here that clip in the back that control the spark. So here's your choke mechanism. You don't want to break that off, just get it lined up. There we go. Just like that. Has a screw where it screws in. That's what that metal bracket in there is for. Done deal. Get everything on. Now you have your wires that's back in there by the throttle. So you want to move your throttle. Look down in there. Make sure you're not bound up on anything. Everything looks good. And we'll get our new Hipa plug. We'll go ahead and throw that in there. Probably don't need it, but you might as well complete it. I'd say it's nice not to include it in the kit. We'll throw it in. There's somebody up there cracking up. Decent looking gap. Get her nice and snug. There we go. Done deal. Just make sure that's good and tight. I've done that once on something and man, I had a bad plug in. But that's it. That's our carb install, our new fuel lines, our new fuel filter, new plug. So we're ready to rock and roll. The only thing we need to do is get gas in it. But it is currently, I bring my phone down. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock and it's raining. So tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, if it's supposed to chance of rain tomorrow as well, we'll get fresh fuel in it. We'll take it outside, fire it up, and make sure the tines down here are working. I'm hoping. I mean, they didn't move when I primed it, which I'm glad they didn't, actually being, you know, in the way of something. But we'll check them out tomorrow. So the only thing left, throw some fuel in, try the new carb out, see how it works out. All right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Well, here we go. The outside, put fuel in it, so prime it up. See if it'll fire up. Get if it runs, we'll try the tines. Well, what you doing, buddy? Primer's working. Choke. Wrong. See what we get. Hopefully. Come on, big fella. That's idling, that's the plug. The thing now is I'm curious if I have a chance to mess with them, so we're going to try the tines, see if they work. Man, this sucker works good. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I mean it dug down pretty good. Not bad for a cheap little tiller. It's a 4-tine, like I was saying. Yeah. You should be able to see them there. So it just has the 4 tines on the front. So I'm saying it reminds me a lot of a, I think it's a little bit bigger though, but make you think of the old Manus tiller, just a bigger version. So we got 4 tines. The box, everything's good. And here's another cool little feature. I didn't even realize it until I was bringing it up out of the basement, but it actually has 2 handles to carry it. It's got one, that bar in the front, right there in front of the tank, that black bar, and one in the middle. You can, zoomed out, there we go. You actually need to pick it up and put it in the back of a whatever. You can actually pick it straight up. It doesn't weigh much at all. That's it, Powermate. We got Powermate 43cc engine, 8-inch tines, 4 tines. And that thing runs freaking great. But here you go, win-win. But yeah, so I was saying, Hipa carb kit, no adjustments required. Just, you know, with Hipa, that's I usually run into is very, very, very seldom at all you have to make any kind of adjustments to their carb. But so that's it. It just needed flush the tank out, put new lines, new filter. Went ahead and got that new carb kit from Hipa. Came with the plug wire and all that. Or not the plug wire, but the spark plug, I'm sorry. So full fuel upgrade, including the carburetor. This thing runs like a champ, man. So that's it. Winner. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you at the next one. Hope I helped someone out. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I believe it's $17.99 shipped to your door. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you at the next one.